Been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know where and I don't know why. Why he's gone away and I don't know where he can be. My baby, but I'm gonna find him. I feel like I've been around the world and I'm trying to figure out these country wearing skits and I just can't. But let's get into it. Dalen, can you please just let it go? Let it go, baby. Looks like another love TKO. Please don't be fool me twice. Please don't. You already been fooled once. You almost lost your restaurant because of her. And now it's fool me twice with Kelvin. You should have left her alone the first time. You and that girl, the one that you were talking to, I think y'all were cute together. But Lord, Brittany, when you found out that could be possibly your stepbrother, you still over there lying. And you talk about Shayla. And you doing the same thing to Dalen that Shayla did to Amber. But then again, you're doing the same thing with not only Amber, you're doing it to Dalen. But it's worse when it comes to Dalen because Dalen, after all this time, is finally giving you what you want. Finally let down his guard, and yet you do it again. This is what the two of you do. Leave him alone. Go ahead on, break up with him, and call it a day. Please, for the love of God, just do that. That way we'll all be happy. Now, as for Jocelyn, you and Ralphie need to go ahead on and get back together. If not, Ralphie, you should have just cut ties and kept ties because y'all should never got back in business together. He should have just tore it up because in the end, I got a feeling something else getting ready to happen. But the guy that Momo, and I told you I'm gonna talk about this on the live while I'm packing because y'all gonna hear me moving around. But I'm gonna do a panel because I gotta pack. But I'm still gonna be listening and still interpreting. But if anybody wanna come up, y'all can. I might invite some people and see if they'll come on through. But we gotta talk about this thing with Ralphie, Shayla, and Anthony when it comes to this birth certificate. As somebody that used to work in the medical field, I can tell you that when they do these paternity tests, they do them in an actual lab. So if they take the paperwork and they show they're not the father, what they have to do is contact the place where the test was done. And wherever it was they were done, they can actually get the record. They can also find out the records. But you got to sign something giving them permission to actually go and contact them to find out. Once they find out, if it's confirmed that RB is not the father, then that's when they'll go ahead and they'll change the papers. But I would make Anthony pay for it. He don't. RB don't need to pay for that. Anthony does. Now, if they find a discrepancy in the paperwork in any way, shape, form, or fashion, then yes, they have to do another DNA test. But you can use the home DNA test as long as it is accurate. As long as they can verify that that paperwork matches, but they're saying something different, that he actually is the father and that he's not the father, then Anthony's going to have to do another paternity test because Anthony going to be like, it's some mistake. It's got to be some mistake. RB is that baby's father. Now, that's the only way they can do this. Now, that might be the way it come out. Maybe so. But either way it go, it don't matter. But, I'm going to leave it there. But, yeah. That's the only way that can come out. Now, as for Ernestine, why are you mad because Jay is selling the house? All you got to do is say, look, if you're going to sell the house, then you need to pay me my portion of it. That's it. There's no point in you keeping an house. You can't afford it because you ain't got no job. And then you'd have to end up paying Jay to take his name off anyway. So either way it go, the best thing to do is sell the house. He give you back your money, and that be the end of it. Just sell the house. He don't need all that space no more. It's just him. All he needs is something that's big enough for him and his daughter. And that's it. He can get a nice, 3-bedroom condo, 3-bedroom townhouse. He can downsize. He don't need all that space. It's just him. All he needs, and then the fact that he doesn't have Ava but every other 2 weeks, all he needs is an apartment. He don't need nothing that big. All he needs is a real nice townhouse or a nice condominium. And that's all he needs. He don't need all that space. A man doesn't need all that space. They really don't. They really only need something small, unless they get married. Most men just want a small bachelor pad, and a lot of men now are just in apartments, unless they got kids. Then they'll get something bigger. But most people ain't getting nothing that big no more. They done made people realize why they don't want houses at this point. They want a condo, a townhouse, or just an apartment that they buy. That's pretty much about it. But I don't know what you're mad for, and y'all over there, and then you trying to sit there and not give James some. Girl, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. But as for Phil over there trying to talk to a whole nother female. And Latasi, you up here telling your mama you pregnant, and girl, you in a bit more pregnant. You are trying to get pregnant. I'm telling y'all, Morena and Phil gonna end up getting back together when it's all said and done, and they never should have broke up in the first place. But the only reason they broke up was because she got deported. That was the only reason why, and Latasi took advantage of that. But I think Latasi is the reason behind it. But I don't know why they're trying to say that she shot Phil's brother, unless she did it to self-defense to protect Phil. But that doesn't make any sense, though. That's what I'm saying. This whole entire skit don't make no sense. It don't. Y'all need to rethink that. I don't think she shot him, but that's another conversation. What else? Anthony, you over there mad with Natasha for something that happened a long time ago when she was doing her job, basically defending Wayne. That's her job. And Rolanda, I'm glad you checked him, but girl, you should have checked him while she was there. And Natasha ain't doing nothing but making you realize you are still in love with Anthony. And I think in the end, even if it comes out Shayla is not that baby's that's not his baby, I don't think he's going back to Amber either. I think he's gonna end up going right to Rolanda. I think Rolanda is gonna eventually tell Anthony how she feels about him. And I think that's where he's going. I don't think he's gonna be with Amber or Shayla. And I think with Amber, is there a chance that her and Kelvin can be together? Yes, there is. Why? Because when Kelvin sees the fact that Brittany keep on lying and so on and so forth, he gonna end up leaving Brittany alone, especially when he talks to Amber and Amber tells him that she didn't know. And if Amber really wants Kelvin, she can pretty much take Kelvin from Brittany if she wanted to. But I don't know if she's going to or not. But in her mind, it's not even about Kelvin. It's about Brittany. Because Brittany kept telling her not to talk to him. And now you dating him? Ooh, this going to be interesting. Yep. And as for Hollywood, I can't wait for y'all to go out of town. This going to be interesting. You're going to be having your eyes straight on Sunny. Mike, you ain't going to be able to do nothing because Hollywood going to be right there. And you don't even know that Hollywood is taking their classes. You don't even know yet. And the fact that that guy is trying to get with Amber and everything, no, we don't want him with her either. Now, I don't know. I remember him and Amber have known each other for a while, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much about him. I'd have to see what kind of person he is. But we'll see. But it would be nice to bring somebody new. And Amanda, when you saw that girl there, you should just packed up and moved out and went back to your sister's house. Gave him back that key and bounced. But you know what's going to happen? You and that man going to end up sleeping together, and you're going to end up losing that other dude, and your sister ain't going to have nothing to do with you. Amber, please just get you some newer friends and distance yourself around these females you hang around with, except Erica. Girl, you need some new friends, seriously, because these people are just trifling. You're going to be sucked into their nonsense, and that just ain't good for you at all. Bye, y'all.